So 2021 were the pandemic years, were the years that the world shut down, and during these years in some part of 2022, me, like a lot of you guys, lost all income, and I found myself stuck in the house with my wife of my youth, Gathoni. And during this time, as we just chilled and relaxed, I got to reread a book I had read some few years back. And this book was called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. So Viktor was a prisoner of war, a POW, captured by the German Nazis, and he was bundled into a concentration camp. Him and a host of other Jews. And during this time, his captors begin to break down their spirit, and to kill them before they died, And here Victor speaks about how he was able to remain alive was the thoughts of his loved ones, and him looking forward to seeing them again. And this kept him alive and made him not lose hope and despair in life. And so during the pandemic years also, it was my time to search for meaning and to question life, and to ask those deep questions. So God, what is the meaning of life? I'd spent about 6 years or so, or 6 to 10 years of my life post uni, just working and laboring. And now here I was stuck in the house with no income. And I really questioned and asked God, so God, what is life's meaning? God, show me and tell me what life's meaning is, And God led me to the book of Ecclesiastes. So Ecclesiastes was that book that was written during Solomon's sunset years. So it was written at the tail end of Solomon's life. So Songs of Solomon was written when he was a young man in love, full of energy and all that. And Proverbs was written during the mid of his life. And Ecclesiastes was written during the last days of his life, as he was sitting and reflecting on the meaning of life, And Solomon said that as he was searching for the meaning, he denied his heart no pleasure. That anything that his heart wanted, he gave it. Yeah. Be it wealth, or women, or work, or fame, fortune, all these things, Solomon had it and more, had it in truckloads. And when he sat down at the end of his life, he said, all these were vanity. In fact, he says they were like chasing after the wind, And Solomon here, during this verse that God showed me, Solomon here finally comes to the realization that there's a meaning, there's something that can give life meaning. And I'll read to you guys what Solomon wrote, Solomon wrote this, Ecclesiastes 9:9, very easy to remember. He says this, live joyfully with the wife whom you love all the days of your vain life or short life, which he has given you under the sun, all your days of vanity. For that is your portion in life, or that is your reward in life, and in the labor which you perform under the sun. And so during this time, the pandemic years, God told me, Ben, just focus on loving God. Focus on enjoying each other, Focus on loving each other and finding enjoyment in your marriage. And it was hard because, I'd been used to, if it's having fun, then let's go for a date. Or my idea was enjoying was maybe had to involve money or traveling, or in my wish list, maybe it was shopping in Paris or New York, traveling the world together, That was my idea of enjoyment. But Solomon here had all those things and more, and yet they never gave him meaning. Some Bible scholars or commentaries say that Solomon here was referring to sex. He was referring to sexual intimacy between a man and wife. And during that time, the pandemic years, because we had nowhere to go, we resorted to becoming creative, to finding ways of enjoying each other. And during this moment in life, we had to unlearn, relearn, and perfect the idea of sexual intimacy, reigniting the spark, so to say. And because we had all the time and energy, then we focused on it and we became intentional with our sex life. So the past 6 years of our marriage, sex just happened. It was just circumstantial, or it was by mutual consent or by planning and all those things. But we always never used to think about it intentionally, to intentionally focus and plan our sexual escapades, for lack of a better word. And so during the pandemic years, we discovered again the joy of sexual intimacy. And sex is that gift that just keeps on giving. It's the gift that doesn't need money or you traveling somewhere or taking flights or airports. Sexual intimacy is a thing that you guys can just enjoy together, you know. And when we got to discover it, felt as if we had discovered buried treasure, and I was amazed at all, and I was like, man, why didn't I realize this later? That maybe God orchestrated the whole pandemic from China just for Ben to learn to enjoy sex with his wife. Well, I that may be a reason, I don't know. And so during this time, we began to experiment. And experimentation is very interesting. And we began to read and research, and we used to send each other articles that we come out online. And one of the things that we discovered that really amazed us was that a way to enjoy sex is to involve all your senses, that we have 5 senses. The things that we read in science, that you have a sense of touch, a sense of taste, hearing, seeing, smelling, And the whole idea is this, that when you guys plan your sexual escapades, then think about scents. That means scented candles were a great hack for us, sexual, the scented candles, scented candles were good, and they fill the room with aroma, and they set you in the mood. Number 2 is taste. That means find something that can trigger your taste buds. So chocolate is a good thing to do. Chocolate, coffee is also very nice. It just tickles your taste buds. Number 3 is listening. So you can have on your phone, or you can have some slow ballads. Gathering and I are fans of the 90s R&B. So whatever music tickles your fancy, then you can have it in the room. What is it? Sense of touch. So spend a lot of time touching each other, actually having physical body contact. It's fantastic, the sense of touch is just amazing. And lastly, sight. So whatever you like, if you're a lingerie fan, go all the way. If you're an Adams and Eve kind of guy, kind of couple like me, enjoy each other and feast on each other sexually, and do not be shy or ashamed of each other. Just enjoy it. Sex was that gift that, like Solomon, I discovered something and I was like, man, I wish I had known how much fulfillment and joy this gave me. More than all the money in the world, this was fantastic. And so as I end this video, I'd like to give you guys an assignment. I like giving assignments. I'm like a tutor or something. So, or a challenge, yeah. So the challenge is this, that for 7 days, I want you, if you're a married couple, yeah, to be intentional about planning your sexual escapades together. So intentionality means plan it in your schedule. Look for all those stuff that you need to have in the bedroom, and set aside some time whereby you two can enjoy time together. If it's at the end of the day, the middle of the day, the start of the day, whatever it is that you guys like, but find time for the next 7 days to have intentional sex for the next 7 days. Till next time, guys, God bless.